What's up everyone, it's Mike back again today, MF Vape. Thanks for tuning into the channel, hope you're all doing very well. Right, today we've got a dual core RDA, and this one is a style type RDA. It's a copy of the Reload X and it's from Kindbright. Now here it is. I have the gold version because it's the only one that was in stock, unfortunately. I really wanted the stainless one, but this is the one we've got today. So without further ado, let's go down there and I'll show you the packaging that it comes in. And then we're going to throw a build in here, of course. And then we'll come back up top and I'll tell you what I really think of the Reload X style RDA by Kindbright. Okay, see you down there in a bit. Right, we're down at the table. Here's the packaging for the Reload X style RDA from Kindbright. Obviously not much going on there, so put that to one side. Inside you'll find a baggie with an Allen key, the regular gold-plated 510 pin, 2 stainless steel hex style grub screws and 3 O-rings. Right, so here is the Reload X RDA. So on top we've got your usual 810 fitting drip tip. We have the O-ring on the inside of the top here, so all of your 810s will fit. I'll just show you with one of my ones here, so no dramas there. So you'll notice we've got this bit of design going on around the top. This leaves a lot to be desired. Actually, it's really sharp. It's just focus in a little bit for you, so you can just see the machining. I've actually cut myself on this when I first got it, so it might be a good idea to get some emery paper or a little bit of fine sandpaper or something, because it's not the best machining in the world. But while we're here, let's just have a look on the bottom. So you just notice it looks like a peak insulator surrounding this gold-plated squonk pin. Now that doesn't look the tidiest in the world either. Look onto the side, we've got adjustable airflow. This is like a ring, just like the loop RDA, so you can adjust it, and what you adjust on one will be the same on the other. And I'll show you how this airflow works in a minute, because it is a little bit different from normal. Right, so you notice we have got the usual doming on either side, but we've got these notches here, and basically we'll have to have a look at the deck first. Here's the deck. We've got 2 O-rings around the bottom to help make the seal. So yeah, very unusual these posts are. So if you look where the airflow is, when this is plugged in, just got to line it up. So the air is actually going in sideways, and then it travels down sort of through the tubes and then through the hole and back up through these slots here on either side. So it's a very effective way of stopping your RDA from leaking, because literally, like, the air's going in, then down, across a little bit, and up, and in through there. So it's just literally a leak-proof RDA. So it's a really good design. So this side here is your positive side, because you can just see we've got the peak insulator that surrounds it. These 2 posts here are your negatives, and this is another section where it's really sharp as well. These bits here, you're liable to cut yourself if you're not careful. But just have a look at the squonk pin. So that does stick up quite a little bit actually, but it does suck back quite well when all the squonking devices I've used, so it's not an issue. But yeah, you can have dual core, so you'd have one lead in there, one in there, same on the other side, or one core in the middle in either that configuration or that configuration there. So you'll notice we've got about a 5mm juice well, but like I say, when you've actually put the top on, you've got a massive juice well. You can really, if you're using this in squonk mode, you can squonk this as high as you can and it won't actually leak. The only trouble is you might flood out the deck, because obviously the pin is raised on this, so you're likely to leave a little bit of juice on the bottom of the deck. But yeah, so it's time to build in this one now. Right, I forgot to say, the little stand that I've got here is a stand I purchased from attidoc.co.uk in the UK, and you can get them in a number of different wood finishes, and they're not the most larger stands in the world, but they're really handy for doing this sort of thing and for building on. So yeah, check out Attidoc if you'd like to purchase one. Right, so the coils I'm using today are from Rolling Fog coils. These particular ones are I think they're the tricore fuse, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Mech tricore fuse. I've used these before in another build, but they work really well, so I'm going to put them in this particular build. Now, the good thing with this this deck, you don't need to be too overly accurate with your core positioning, because the air's coming like down this side here and then upwards. As long as you've got your cores like mounted over the airflow, then you're laughing really. Got my coily tool here. Not sure these are the right. Yeah, it's about 7mm. So if you've got yourself one of these coily tools, you need to cut it to 7mm in length, your leg length. So you literally just push your core through there, get your snips and snip it off. But these are actually the right size from a previous build I've done. Right, hex style grub screws these. Somewhere around about there should be fine, so let's just put it on the module. So it's coming out of 0.13 ohms, so we just bed the coils in. Should already be bedded in from the last build I did. There you go, flowing from the inside out. That's what you want after. Right, just make sure you can still see the squonk pin. This is some homemade strawberry and cream, I believe, from Darkstar Vapor in the UK. It's been steeping for a good few weeks now, so it should taste rather nice now. So try not to spill it everywhere, but if you do, just put it around the O-rings. Waste not, want not. Here we go. 0.13. Right, so it's just a case of putting this top cap back on now. So you really got to judge this right. So those notches there obviously have to go over this part here. So round about there, and it just clicks in like so. So that is the Reload X style RDA built from Kindbright. So let's go back up top and I'll tell you what I think of it. Right, we're back up top with the Reload X style RDA. Right, what do I think of it then? Right, let's go on to build quality, because straight out of the box you'll pick this one up and you'll think, oh, that's a little bit sharp, this top bit, this engraved section at the top. It has got some burrs on it, and you'll need to get yourself some fine sandpaper. And because I bought the gold-plated one, which I didn't want, incidentally, but it was the only one that eSig1 had in stock. Now I paid £14.99 for this, but I do think you can get it for between $8 and $12 if you go on a Chinese website. But yeah, eSig1, they only had the gold-plated one, but I thought, yeah, I want to get that one because I had the original Kindbright Reload RDA, and this is one of the best flavour tanks that I've ever bought. Now this one was suspect to leaking out the bottom if you had any of that cotton anywhere near the airflow holes on this, but being bottom airflow, yeah, this one did tend to seep on me. But for all-round flavour though, this is a cracking RDA. So I thought, when I saw that eSig1 had the Kindbright RDA of the Reload X, I thought, yeah, I've got to buy it. So we got the gold-plated one. So yeah, the build quality isn't the best. Now the airflow control ring is quite a nice touch though. It's rather like the Geek Vape loop in effect, because you've got this ring that's like in the middle of the actual device, and that works pretty well. But the O-ring tolerances are a little bit too loose for me. You might want to pick up a couple of spare fatter O-rings because yeah, you won't be able to hold this by the RDA and expect it to stay on the mod. So yes, not the best build quality. We've also got these sharp edges on the airflow posts of the deck, which is also something you need to be wary of. But going onto the deck, very good design this one. It's your postless build deck. We've got it's very easy to install, and as long as you mount your coils so they're situated underneath the airflow holes, then you're not going to have a problem. I've got it about 3mm above, but you can lower it or higher it up to suit your needs. Because with this one we've got top side airflow, but it's actually coming in from the top and it works its way down, goes across, and then goes back underneath the actual coils. So like I say, in effect this one is a bottom airflow RDA, so you would expect decent flavour from it. But yeah, so the build deck is very good on here, but when you go to put this top cap back on, it's a good idea to leave those airflow holes wide open, because you need to judge it from where those posts are, and then it should just slot on like so. But as you just saw then, it is rather loose fitting. So yeah, I would strongly recommend getting some fatter O-rings for this. Now it's got your 810 fitting drip tips, so no dramas there. All your goon fitting ones, your preferred ones, you can put on here. So that is always good. But let's have a little draw on it now. I'm going to leave it wide open, and we've got it at 0.14 ohms, 65 watts. Right, that's wide open, and on a 1 to 10 scale, this is only a 7 out of 10, so it's quite a restrictive draw you get even with it wide open. So I don't really feel the need to close off the airflow. Now you're getting a nice smooth draw on this though. It might be a little bit loud, but it's a nice smooth draw this. So let's just crank it down to about half and do the same again. Yeah, it's still quite smooth if you put it to half, but it starts becoming a little bit too warm for me. Now I do prefer a cooler vape though. But let's just give it a little squonk. And that's another good pro with this one. You can really squonk this one hard and you will not get it to leak. Because of the actual design of it, I haven't actually had any liquid coming out of these side posts whatsoever. So it is more or less a leak-proof RDA, unless you tip it upside down, of course. But let's just crank up the wattage a little bit more. Right, I'll put it up to 80 now. And we've got it on the Rage Squonk device, by the way. Right, for me that's a little bit too warm. So my ideal wattage for this coil, which is I think it's a tricore fused Clapton from the Rolling Fog coils. So check them out on Facebook because they are really good hand-built coils. They're nichrome 80 with I think they're a stainless steel wrap on here. But yeah, my sweet spot is between 60 and 70 watts because otherwise I feel it's a little bit too warm for me. Because like I say, it is a restrictive airflow on here, so I don't think it's really designed for like megawatts, but it's up to the individual, of course. But let's get on to the flavour, shall we? Just give it one more little squonk, and then 65 watts. Well, I've got some strawberry and cream e-liquid that I've made myself there. And this RDA really does bring out the flavour of that strawberry and cream. Really is probably one of the best dual core RDAs I've tasted for flavour. So disregarding the build quality and the other cons I've pointed out, this really is a top RDA for flavour. So I would like to see SXK or YFTK do a job on this one, and maybe it might cost a little bit more, but for me this one is just built a little too shoddily for me to recommend it. But I'm glad I've got it, because if I did find myself £60 or so, I'd probably consider getting the original, because this really is a nice draw and the flavour is up there. So that's the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please give it a little thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, consider subscribing and make sure you hit the little bell notification, and then you'll be notified of all my latest videos. Now, I've got my own website too. It's mfvape.co.uk, so it'd be great if you could check that one out. And you can also find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So until next time, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.